Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. And this was just a little bit of a breaking news that the U.S. government looks like they're going to sell a little bit of Bitcoin. Now, this is $130 million worth, which is really a drop in the bucket as we've seen a lot of different selling going on. But like I say, it's all cumulative. So before we jump into that, just want to remind everybody that it was a pretty good show today. It was me, Ben, and Guy did an NFA live show over on Ben's channel in the Cryptoverse. A lot of good questions about the macro, what's actually happening. And I think the first question was really good. What they talked about, is it going to be one chain to rule them all, or can we see multiple? And that was a pretty good episode. I linked in the descriptions. You can check that out. But let's just jump into it and talk about this, which I saw before we came in, which was the U.S. government is selling some Bitcoin. So yes, $130 million. And I was checking out. When I read this, I'm like, you know what? It's not a big deal because $130 million, what is that? But remember, it is a multiplier because it's a little bit different. It's not just like, $1 billion comes in and then we only go up by a market cap of $1 billion. It's a multiplier, almost like a 10 to 13x because of the way in which Bitcoin is set up and structured. It's not like gold where you can just say, oh, well, there's an increased price in gold. We'll just go dig up some more gold. It doesn't work like that. It's not a scarce asset. It's a finite asset. So when we see some of this dumping, again, it's cumulative. This and Grayscale and now Gox and then some other unknown black swan event that we don't know about. So is this like the worst thing of all time? No, just something to be aware of. Was probably a little bit of price drop. So here's what we have. U.S. files notice to sell $130 million worth of Bitcoin seized from Silk Road. And this is not going to happen like today, as a matter of fact. It's actually going to take a little bit of time. The wheels of justice sure do move slow. So this is a notice on January 8th in the case of U.S. versus Joseph Fares, U.S. District Court, District of Maryland, order condemning and forfeiting the following property of the United States of America. And it looks like this is Bitcoin approximately roughly 129 million worth, plus 3 million for this other piece in Arlington, Virginia. But this is where it's kind of goes a little interesting. The United States hereby gives notice of its intent to dispose of the forfeited property in such manner as the United States Attorney General may direct. Any person other than the defendant in the case claiming interest in the forfeited property must file an ancillary petition within 60 days of the first date of publication, which was January 10th. And then they can voice their dismay against that and maybe turn it around. But again, it looks like this is going to be sold on the open market. I know this is probably an opportunity for people to actually pick some cheap Bitcoin, but as it gets dropped on the market, not a really big deal. However, remember this. So we've got this little bit of a sell pressure coming up, and who knows if that's going to be like exactly in 60 days. But remember that we've also got a nice little outflow from Grayscale. And I'm going to steal stuff. Like I steal stuff from Ben. I'm going to steal stuff from James of Invest Answers, who does fantastic work on X. You should really follow him. And the money flow per fund after 9 days. And we can see here, James graphs it very well, that you've got over $4 billion. If it wasn't for Grayscale, how fat we'd be up right now? It'd be pretty darn great. But unfortunately, FTX has to drop off, and because they have it, like I talked about in NFA today, it's kind of like it's like a cancerous selection that they have to dump and purge all of their Bitcoins so they can pay back their creditors, hopefully, in some way, shape, or form. So this is on day 9, and they continue to dump. And here's actually where we're at. And this was, let's see. And then, of course, the absorption. But again, we're still, I think James puts it in here somewhere, where he says the bad news is, the bad news is BlackRock is slowing down a lot, which is great. Or IBIT, slowing a lot, not so great. Grayscale Bitcoin outflows are still higher than net inflows to other funds. And remember, if it is true about the wash trading rule, then it's going to take them 30 days. Once they dump that, traditional equity-wise, because it's an ETF, they can't buy back in for 30 more days. So after 30 days, I think things are going to do pretty well. Then we're going to see a little bit of a dump here, and people are like, why is there a little bit of a fluctuation? Then now you're going to know. And these are the things that happen. Good news, BlackRock has, almost 46,000 assets under management, and Fidelity has nearly the same. So those are Bitcoin that's pretty much locked up in there. So there's that outflow and the government. And then, of course, Mount Gox, which can never seem to go away. I always laugh at these articles because I've been in since 2017. I remember hearing this, that they're gonna dump on us any day now, and it never happens. But I just thought, maybe this could happen in the background. So some customers claim that they received an email asking for confirmation of identity and account details of the Mt. Gox insolvency case. So we'll see if they dump on us. But I got to tell you, if they know anything about Bitcoin, this would be the dumbest thing that they could possibly do. And why is that? Goldilocks. So we talked about this yesterday. So all this stuff that we said, there's maybe some dumping, some dumping. But just remember, if anybody knows anything about Bitcoin, this is the time when me personally, I like to acquire a lot, to accumulate. You don't have to. I'm not a financial advisor. You can do whatever you want to do. But this is what I do, is I'm taking a look at, this is the time before the halving when things really start to, either they will flatten out or we'll have a little bit of a dip into it, which is great if you're a dollar cost averager. But also the projects that are being built and coming out and resurging, these are the times to take a look at those projects. And like we talked about, Matic, April 2019, Axie, April 2020, Solana, April 2020, AVAX 2020, Gala, August 2020, Shiba Inu, August 2020. So like these are the times when things are really in the place of where you probably want to pick some things up, because in the next 16, 18 months, it's going to be just fireworks. So there's that good part. And then also I just took a peek here. CoinDesk released that Tesla's Bitcoin holdings remain unchanged. I thought they were selling their Bitcoin holdings, but apparently as far as the new filing, they haven't dropped a penny. So they hold over 387 million worth of Bitcoin. That's good. Tesla holds almost 10,000 Bitcoin. It's the third largest, and I didn't know this. They're the third largest public holder of the asset, behind MicroStrategy and the mining company Mara, which I actually hold stock in just a little bit. I was kind of surprised at that. Third largest public company. Also, they did invest 1.5 billion in Bitcoin in February 2020, accumulating 43,000 Bitcoins. They chopped off a good 33,000 plus as they sold off, but they still kept 97.20 on the books. It's interesting. So I like to see that, and that could be price appreciation right there. Good for Tesla for not doing something crazy. And then, as we were talking about the Goldilocks time frame, helium. Helium, when it first came out, I understood it was about telecommunications and being able to open up that sector. You could have a helium miner, and you could essentially create a hub spot or a Wi-Fi spot in a decentralized manner. I thought, that's pretty cool, but they just didn't seem to pick up steam until they moved over to Solana. Now they're on Solana, it seemed like things are really picking up. So Telefonica partners with Helium to roll out mobile hotspots in Mexico. And if you're not aware, they actually signed a deal in Florida. I want to say it's the University of Florida or Florida State, where it's unlimited talk and text for $20 a month. So that's a real DPIN, as they call it, decentralized physical network, in action and actually working. So when people say, crypto doesn't do anything, well, here's an example of where it actually is. So Helium's native token is up 5% over the past 24 hours. This was actually yesterday. I just didn't have time to talk about this. Here we go. So the telecom giant, this is Telefonica in Mexico, with more than 20 billion market cap, has 383 million customers, operates in Europe and Latin America. In 2021, I didn't know this either, Helium partnered with internet giant Dish as it built out its 5G network, which now has almost 1 million hotspots across 65,000 cities, 170 countries. So they're really crushing it. And when I hear about these stories, I'm like, this token must be like way out of my reach, because, it's actually doing something. It actually has utility. So I took a look, and no. I mean, okay, if you want to look at like 3 months or something like that, yeah, okay, you got me on that one. I'll take a look at a year. All right. But take a look at this. It used to be $1.50, and now it's $6. Well, now it went all the way up to $8.70. But check this out. This is what got me kind of excited. First of all, total supply is only 223 million. Okay, that's pretty good. And it's already. Well, the circulating supply is 143. So, okay, they probably have some unlocks at some point. Correct me in the comment section. But what I saw made me interesting was this. The all-time high, it's 88% down from its all-time high when it didn't do squat. And now it actually does something. It has utility. And it's 88% down. Just between us, I bought some Helium today because why not? Are you kidding me? Anyhow, it could be awful, but I just look at that, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Anyhow, what you think about that in the comment section. I think that could be a decent play. Also, Magic Eden. This is a Solana NFT marketplace, expands the rewards program, starting with Solana users. If you've ever used this in the past, looks like you could be eligible. Here's what's going on. NFT marketplace Magic Eden is building out a user rewards program. This platform said it would retroactively disperse diamonds to Solana OGs on February 2nd. Magic Eden debuted diamonds in March 2023, offering user rewards like lower fees, access to whitelist via the tokens. Magic Eden users can now earn diamonds by buying, selling, or making offers to an entire collection of NFTs. I don't know if other NFT marketplaces actually do this, but I thought it was a pretty cool idea. Like the more that you use, the more you get a discount, and it kind of works out pretty well. And it says that this diamond drop is coming February 2nd. So I don't know if this is, if you get in there and start to use it now, or if you'll be eligible, but it says the reward goes back all the way to 2021. And if you've, I linked this in the description. It's just magiceden.io. And it's where you can purchase NFTs on the Solana network. And if you've never used the Solana network for like a DEX, and you've only used like an Ethereum-based one like Uniswap, you're in for a treat as far as transaction costs. Just saying. So you can check that out. Links in the description. And that's it for today for the good and bad news. As far as like a PSA or public service announcement, just be aware that Trezor had some type of, not a hack, but some type of like leakage of information. So if you get something goofy like this in your email, dear customer, emails let you know your wallet assets are undergoing an upgrade. And after to upgrade their infrastructure, we're temporarily disabling the following networks. We are requiring action from our users to re-enable the networks. So apparently, you're telling me that a hacker who has all the time in the world to craft a decent email is telling you that you are going to re-enable the networks. Interesting. Failure to upgrade your networks could result to full funds loss. Again, I guess they think that you own all the networks. And then there's a stupid link to a website that'll scam you out of stuff. So just stay away from that and that nonsense, and that's what's going on. Also, before we get into a little bit of the Q&A section, what's coming up tomorrow? If you're in the Puerto Rico Santurce area, I will be buying beers for everybody who stops by over at San Juan Smokehouse from 5 to 8. Not all your beers. I mean, I can't support all your addictions. I mean, I'll buy the first round, but you know what I mean. So link in the description. Also, if you follow me on X, you can get the directions there, 5 to 8. Always fun times. People ask me, what do we do there? I said, well, mostly it's me just listening to you tell me about your wins and losses and the things that you do to actually make yourself successful. I don't really share too much information, quite honestly. It's everybody just telling me what they're doing, and it's quite fascinating. Then we swap stories. Good times. Also, tomorrow we'll probably do the new show, which will be debuting on X only, where I asked everybody to show me their best memes, and it's a pretty good one. So we're going to do a quick meme show. It will not be on YouTube, just because that's how we do things. And I'll do that tomorrow and let everybody know. And then also tomorrow, I'll be pre-recording a video with CoinLedger. Now, there's a couple of questions about tax services and what that means for the Celsius and Voyager users. I did hear your questions, and I will have those answered and get those out. As we have David Kemmerer, who's the co-founder of CoinLedger on, and I'll get to the bottom of that. And then also, hopefully by Saturday, I'll release the video that we shot with me and Illia, founder of Near, as we go over all the things that they're doing and just how much they're growing. And I got to tell you, Near's going to be a powerhouse. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive.